If what they are telling me is true, you're going to wake up wealthy dollar 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 dollar. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. The US Treasury are saying to us they are active in our country and they're making sure the change that is coming will not be a massive flow straight into Iran. They are telling us on TV the time has come to hit the ground for this corruption. Iraq is still being able to function. They told us their 2023-24 budget was legal, has always been, and they're moving forward with it. Even though we haven't seen an exchange rate change, they can still function, which is fine. Now they're starting to do things that are getting their banks in order, and we're seeing the results of that. The Central Bank of Iraq was forced to allocate an entire floor to the U.S. Treasury Department to monitor money transfer operations and prevent any illegal activities. Talk about a very clear violation of Iraq's sovereignty. This is how bad things have gotten. The United States has now taken up permanent residence within Iraq's central bank. Policy has changed for the very first time since we've been in this speculation together. The policy is going to change on either side of the aisle. Iraq is going to be punished if they keep moving forward here, moving more and more pro-Iranian. That's not good. That's not positive for us. Central bank governor's resignation, admission of failure or escape from the repercussions of the financial crisis? Whose face is on the new currency? False flag? Timing. Bank friends saying all of this, U.S. Treasury involved with Iraqi banks, would not be happening right now. All this would not cause our rate to be changing. It would be staying at 1310. Or if we were lopping, none of this would be necessary. It is insane that we are seeing this because a change to the rate is coming. The auctions are down to one bank and it was only around 7 million. You cannot run a country off of that. The auctions are being shut down. Frank, that's beautiful news. My contacts are saying how excited they are about Alak stepping down. There are many confirmations now that Alak has resigned. I have a contact in the finance ministry who says there is a lot of excitement in Iraq because they believe he was one of the last roadblocks they needed to remove. We do know that Sadani has made it very clear that the revaluation or change in rates lies in the CBI's hands. So I am going to take this as good news. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq resigns. Quote, Central Bank Governor Ali Alak has reached retirement age and has submitted his resignation to Prime Minister Mohammed Shia Sadani. Central Bank Governor's resignation. Admission of failure or escape from the repercussions of the financial crisis? Do we really think at this stage of where the reforms are now and how far they have come to even suggest Al-Alak is going to go to Al-Sadani and give his resignation? Al-Alak in present terms has kept the country in a state of financial stability to date. This is a hit piece. One that is not surprising as the dollar auctions have dried up. That is very painful to those that lived off the cash cow. We shall see if it arrives and he steps aside, as they put it. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq resigns, he's pressured out. There's all kinds of crap happening. He was behind some shady things and it looks like now he is resigning. They are going to say it had to do with his retirement. Central Bank Governor's resignation, admission of failure or escape from the repercussions of the financial crisis? Quote, Tuesday, that Al-Alak decided to submit his resignation after facing multiple problems in the financial sector, in addition to his inability to fulfill his promises to control the exchange rate. This request comes at a sensitive time for the Iraqi economy, which suffers from severe fluctuations in exchange rates and direct impacts on the local economy. What is actually occurring between the CBI, the Feds and the U.S. Treasury? If you read the headlines today, you might begin to panic. You might say things are looking really bad for Iraq. But I assure you that this is all actually very good news for us investors. This recent move by the U.S. Treasury was made for the benefit of the currency reform process so that they could move to the next step of the currency reform once these issues are fixed. A financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Mohammed Shia al-Sadani, warned of the effects of the decline in oil prices in the global market on Iraq, which depends on oil revenues for more than 90% of its resources. Oil prices have fallen to $76 a few days ago. Mazhar Mohammed Saleh told Al Farad news agency, there has been a gradual decline in global oil prices for the past few days, as this decline coincides with the decline in the value of financial assets in the American and Japanese markets, especially the decline in the benchmark oil, Brent crude, which is currently hovering around $76 per barrel for futures contracts after reaching nearly $88 per barrel last June.